Hello, I'm Bev Turner and welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. So, Donald Trump has emerged victorious in the 2024 US presidential election. The left and the Democrats are currently shitting their pants. But why? Well, because they have been fed a completely false narrative by a one-sided establishment media. It required concentration, diligence and an open mind to actually listen to Trump and the team that he's built around him. I understand why so many people are terrified. Donald Trump has been characterized as a fascist, quite literally compared to Hitler by Kamala Harris and the complicit media. He's been smeared by lawfare in the court. He's suffered 2 assassination attempts, and yet he still decisively beat the Democrats. The election results have defied many pollsters' predictions, with Trump not only winning key swing states, but also potentially expanding his support amongst Black and Hispanic voters. This victory marks what Trump's party has called the greatest political comeback in American history.
And under President Trump's leadership, we're never going to stop fighting for you, for your dreams, for the future of your children. And after the greatest political comeback in American history, we're going to lead the greatest economic comeback in American history under Donald Trump's leadership.
On stage after his victory, Trump promised to usher in a new golden age for the United States. So let's try and cut through some of the BS which swirls around this man and his methods to see what he actually wants to do. So, top 10 ambitions of Donald Trump in the White House: economy and inflation. Americans have said they would rather have mean tweets and even a convicted felon in the White House if it means paying less for their groceries and for their gas. And Trump has pledged to end inflation and make America affordable again. His main focus is going to be increasing US energy production, which seeps into every aspect of the economy. That could mean lower taxes, lower prices, higher wages. Trump has assured Americans that his policies will lead to all of the above. Number 2, tax policy. Trump has said that he plans to extend the tax cuts he implemented in 2017, which are set to expire next year. He's talking about reducing corporate tax rates even more. And he's also suggested eliminating taxes on tipped income. Now, that is a massive policy that impacts so many low-paid Americans who rely on tips. 3, immigration. This is the one that became a burning point on both sides of the Atlantic, this massive influx of particularly illegal migration. Trump has promised to secure the border by completing his famous wall and improving and enhancing enforcement measures. He's committed to launching the largest deportation operation in American history, starting with the removal of 1 million undocumented migrants. Trump also proposes denying citizenship to children of undocumented migrants. But remember, there has been a surge in America of crime committed by illegal migrants that has gone completely unchecked. This was a driving force in Tuesday's vote. 4, trade. This one has caused some trepidation, particularly throughout Europe and also here in the UK. Trump says that he plans to impose new tariffs ranging from 10 to 20% on most foreign goods, with significantly higher rates on products from China. 5, healthcare. Bringing on Robert Kennedy Jr. was genius. One of the world's most famous Democrats has vowed to make America healthy again by clamping down on big food and big pharma, both of which he says have vested interests in America being ill and fat. Trump has also been clear that he will not dismantle the Affordable Care Act, and a controversial point amongst more evangelical members of the Trump party is that he's called for taxpayer-funded fertility treatments, even though that is expected to face opposition from Republicans in Congress. Healthcare is going to be an interesting one to watch. Number 6, crime and law enforcement. Trump has vowed to dismantle drug cartels, which have been funneling in fentanyl, which has killed tens of thousands of Americans. He's promised to eradicate growing gang violence and revitalize cities plagued by crime. Trump is also the anti-defund the police candidate. He's promised to enhance safety in communities by replenishing police forces and protecting officers from what he refers to as frivolous lawsuits. Number 7, education. The left in the US have referred to parents who care about their children's education as domestic terrorists. When it comes to schools, Trump speaks to parents who worry that the family values are being eroded. He wants to break up the education department and cut federal spending for schools, pushing critical race theory or transgender matters. Trump also vows to take on woke ideology and take it out of schools. He's a proponent of school choice, enabling parents to use tax dollars towards private institutions. Climate and energy. This is where Trump is an outlier on the global stage. His energy policy is summed up as drill, baby, drill. He vows to make America the world's leading producer of oil and gas by lifting restrictions on energy production. Trump said that he would exit the Paris Climate Agreement if he won another term. Let's just say that the net zero agreements, which have pushed money up the chain whilst making some citizens poorer and colder, are now looking decidedly shaky. Number 9 is foreign policy. So while Trump has said that he supports Israel's right to defend itself, he's also stated that he wants to work together with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to end the war in Gaza by January, should he win the presidency. Trump's also said that should he win the presidential election, he would immediately start negotiations between Russia and Ukraine to end that war once and for all. It is going to be fascinating to see how quickly he can do that. Number 10 is regulatory reform. Trump has promised to continue to do away with more government regulation. He also intends to modernize regulations in various sectors, including agricultural, biotechnology, and automated vehicle technology. One thing that even the legacy media has been forced to admit today is that Donald Trump's victory in the 2024 election is the political comeback for the ages. He's only the second president in US history to serve non-consecutive terms after Grover Cleveland. Domestically, Trump has promised sweeping changes, including securing borders, revitalizing the economy, and addressing rising living costs, key issues that resonated with his voter base. Some people have expressed concerns about his expansive use of presidential power. Trump has indicated plans for retribution against his adversaries, which is more than likely just hyperbole, although only time will tell. And the promised mass deportations could lead to clashes with judicial authorities and raise questions about democratic norms. On the legal front, of course, Trump faces unprecedented challenges. Despite being re-elected, he is still entangled in multiple criminal and civil cases. His legal team will likely seek to delay or dismiss these cases, particularly the federal charges related to his handling of classified documents and efforts to overturn the 2020 election. While federal prosecutions may be halted or delayed during his presidency, state-level cases such as his conviction in New York related to falsifying business records are that bit more complex. Trump is scheduled for sentencing later this month, but his legal team is expected to push for delays or appeals. It is worth noting, however, that an interesting and possibly dignified move by President Joe Biden would be to pardon Donald Trump in the name of unifying the country and moving forward. It could also serve as a parting dig at Kamala Harris, who snatched his earned candidacy for a second term. So while Trump's victory grants him substantial power and influence both at home and abroad, it also sets up a contentious period of legal battles and political upheaval as he navigates a second term under unprecedented circumstances. But we wish him luck.